I feel like most people waste their early 20s, they think it's just a time for them to have fun, for them to party, and they would be like, okay, I'll figure it out later. But literally speaking, those years are the foundation of your future. And this is, I mean, it's not the time for you to, sit at home, you only regular in parties, you only have your mind on like having fun, that kind of stuff, bro. I mean, this is the time where you have to be like, okay, I have to start building my life, bro. I have to work out, bro. I have to learn a skill. You just have to do something, that's going to improve you mentally, physically, and spiritually too. And I feel like most of the time, most of the youths are actually being distracted from their main purpose in life. During your early 20s, I mean, this is when there's actual peer group influence, there's peer pressure, I mean, you're literally being distracted from reaching certain goals. It might not even be a type of distraction that comes, in a direct way. It can be an indirect, it can be an indirect distraction. Something you might never know that will distract you. So I feel like one of the reasons why most people tend to waste their early 20s is because of distraction. And also, when you try to live for validation and not for growth, okay, like you're trying to seek validation in anything you do instead of focusing on the long term. You're literally like, okay, you have to do something now, and then you're seeking, like you just did something right now, and then you're seeking validation maybe in the next 30 minutes. You want people to really acknowledge you for what you did. Bro, everything is literally about growth, okay? You don't work for quick results. You have to be consistent on what you do, bro. Discipline, consistency. Talking about living for validation instead of growth. It's like you're trying to seek attention from people, bro. You know, you're trying to seek validation from people. You want people to know that, oh, you look good, okay? You can do this, you can do that, bro. Instead of trying to work out on yourself, trying to grow, trying to put in the hard work, consistency, discipline, and everything, bro. You actually you are settling for, some kind of like 30 minutes work, and then you try to be like, oh, I mean, you should recognize me for what I did. That's not the way out. And if you continue like trying to seek validation from people, you try to you dress in a nice way for people to say, oh, you look good, you're trying to seek that kind of validation. You're going after material things, you're going to get the latest iPhone, that kind of stuff. For people to say, oh, man, like, I think you are rich or some kind of stuff. That's actually trying to seek self-validation from people. Okay, another thing is when you avoid discipline, or when you avoid self-discipline, which can also be called procrastination. You'll be like, oh, I'll do it later. You just found out a cool way of making money, bro. And then you'll be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Or you'll be like, I'll do it next month. Or you give excuses that you don't have the resources, needed to do this. So that's actually procrastination. You keep postponing what you're supposed to do. You keep postponing what you're supposed to do to move forward, and that was actually procrastination. And we all know that procrastination is actually a grave where dreams are buried. There was a time in my life where I was like, I would find something good to do, and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow, and then the next day will come, and then I'll be like, okay, I don't have the resources needed to do this, so let me just skip it, till next month, that kind of stuff. That's how I kept skipping everything, bro. So procrastination is really, really bad for you. Like, it's really bad for you. Procrastination is actually delaying what you know you should do by distracting yourself with little excuses, as I already said. There was a time in my life whereby I only knew how to, get up, go to school, come back home, play football, and go to bed. And that was when I realized that, I have to fight for my life, bro. Like, this is a critical time whereby I have to build my future. It got to a stage whereby I realized that if I didn't use this time to build my life mentally, physically, and financially, I would regret later in life. So I just thought of, okay, look, I have to lock in for real. I have to cut the friends, the partying, all the funds, and all I did during my teen age. So right now I'm just trying to focus on, self improvement, um, fitness, learning new skills day by day, and trying to improve myself, and actually trying to gain self awareness. And here are some solutions to what you should do in order not to waste your early 20s. Now, the first thing is just be disciplined, stay disciplined. There are some things you're not supposed to do at the age of 20. You know what I'm saying. There are some certain things you're not supposed to be doing. You know what I'm talking about, bro. So, like, you should actually stay disciplined on things like that, you know and you should invest in skills rather than going out to buy drinks, going to take alcohol, partying, and the rest. You should rather invest those money on learning skills. You should buy a course. It doesn't matter who you're buying the course from. I know there are a lot of online gurus there, but you should buy a course that is going to help you a lot. You should invest in skills. It could be video editing, it could be software engineering, it could be script writing, or anything you can think about that you would be good in. And also, you should focus on your health, your health, your body, and your mindset. These three things really matters a lot in your life. You should learn to build them, build your mind, your body, train your body. There's a way you can actually train your body and your mind to be able to resist social pressure and the rest. You know what I'm talking about. So this is actually the second best thing to do. And also, you should actually try to build a habit and a network. I had a problem of being an introvert. So it got to a time I had a lot of things, a lot of projects to do. So, but I was actually an introvert. So I didn't know how to talk to people, how to communicate with people, and I was like, how do I do this? How long will I continue being in my shell? So I had to change that mindset. You know, some people might think being an introvert is like, okay, you were born that way, but that's not true. You chose to be that way, and if you really think you want to stop being an introvert, or you want to leave that shell, you can actually do that. Okay, so I'll be dropping another video of how to come out of your shell as an introvert. So let's continue. Another thing you should do is taking risk now. before life locks in. A time will come whereby you will not be able to do what you are supposed to do now. This is the time where you are mentally and physically strong to do what you're supposed to do, to chase your goals, to actually achieve a dream. So, this is the perfect time for you to do it. Because you can't wait till when you are 60 or when you are 40 or when you are 50. The locking stage actually starts from 18 to, let's say, 35. And when it gets to that stage, it will be very difficult for you to achieve success in your life. So you should take advantage of the locking stage, and try to do something with your life. Yeah, so your early 20s are actually your launch pad to success, and you should take it very, very, very serious, bro. It's not the time you have to waste, on certain things that doesn't matter. So take it very, very serious. I'll be ending the video here, and if you're serious about building yourself, this is the first time I literally made a video like this, so you can subscribe and we'll grow together.